Hey everybody, I just want to come on real quick because there's a few messages that I really felt inspired to share. Just a quick disclaimer, this video is for everybody, but mainly for those who are already kind of well in on their spiritual journeys, because they'll be able to interpret it more clearly than maybe some other people who aren't quite there yet. They might not be familiar with a lot of the terminology that I use. But I still encourage you to listen if, you know, I'm saying some things that you don't understand. Definitely after this video, like, write some of the terms down and go on YouTube and, you know, do your own research and really nurture your curiosity, because it's going to take you a long way. It's really going to help you take your life into your own hands. Okay, so the message that I really wanted to start talking about today is how, when you raise your vibration and you are growing in your spiritual journey, that people, in particularly friends and family and people you're close to, will kind of, they won't completely diminish out of your life. I mean, some will, especially friends, but they will kind of vibrate away from you if they're not also, you know, raising their vibration on a spiritual path or leading a positive life and having a positive attitude about life. You know, even if you're not very spiritual, if you like to joke around a lot, if you're pretty free-spirited and have fun and stuff, you still can hold a pretty high vibration. You don't necessarily have to be hella spiritual to maintain a high vibration. So maybe a lot of your friends in your life that aren't spiritual will still stay in your life, and because of that reason. So one of the things I wanted to speak on was how some people are able to continue to be around lower vibrational people and not be as affected as others. And then some others, it really affects their energetic field, and it drains their energy, and they have a very difficult time being able to kind of, because sometimes you kind of got to mask yourself around other people because they don't understand it. And it puts you in a very vulnerable place to try to be open about spirituality in front of people who aren't ready to receive the messages or understand where you're coming from. Also, we have to try not to judge people who don't understand, because every soul is a different age. So older souls are the more spiritual souls, and the reason that they're more advanced is just because they've lived more lifetimes. They've had more experiences. An example or an analogy I like to use is like when a baby is learning to walk and is wobbling around. We're not going to criticize that baby like, come on, like, you should be walking more firmly on the ground. You know, we're not going to criticize that baby because we understand that the baby is little. The baby is learning. And that's exactly how we have to perceive people who don't understand us or aren't ready to receive spiritual messages, because they are just younger souls. They haven't incarnated as many times as older souls. So for me, this really helped when, in terms of understanding my friends and family and how I was judging them for where they're at, or judging them for, you know, their political views or their perspective on life that I thought was less empathetic or hateful or whatever. And the reason that we cannot judge these people is because they're just younger souls and they're not ready to receive these messages. So we have to, when we judge them, we push them farther away from trying to learn lessons and evolve in their spiritual journey. So evolve a lot in this incarnation, you'll continue to repeat the cycles to learn the lessons. And if you don't learn the lessons, the universe will keep giving you the same lessons until you do. So you can incarnate so many times on the same lessons at the same soul level. Oh, I wish I could remember the name of the book, but I don't have it in my hands. There's a book, I think the guy's last name is MacLeod. Ainsley MacLeod, maybe. And it's about your soul age. And it really breaks it down to help you understand where other people are at in their journey and why we shouldn't judge them, and how to get rid of the energetic blocks to be able to evolve. Like, you could evolve from, there's levels 1 through 10. You could evolve from, so for example, somebody who's very religious, very what is the word? Cognitive dissonance, where you can receive as much information as you want, but you're not going to change your mind. People are like that about religion and politics. You can talk to them till they're blue in the face, but they don't hear what you're saying. So those are younger souls. They just haven't learned the lessons. And that's okay. And in the book, it talks about how they're like that's, I think, a level 3 soul, level 4 soul. And it helps you like evaluate where people are in your life, your friends and your family, so you're able to understand them better and less likely to judge them based off of where they are at in terms of their soul age. Oh my gosh, everybody should read this book who's into spirituality, because they'll really, really start to understand others better and not judge and not feel so criticized when they disagree with how you feel, because you just understand, like, we're just at different levels. And it doesn't mean an old soul is better than a young soul. It's just like an adult isn't better than a baby just because the adult knows more than the baby. We're all divine beings. We're all pure positive energy. It's just the way it is. We all had to go through the process. Everybody starts at kindergarten and ends up graduating in 12th grade. You know what I mean? If you look at it in that way. Like, it doesn't make the kindergartner less, like, it doesn't make them better, less cool, or whatever you want to say, less intelligent. Cool wasn't the word, but you feel me. Like, it doesn't make them any less than the person who's graduating. It just means they've been around longer. That's all it means. It doesn't mean anyone's better. That's all ego. Nobody is better than anybody else. But it's so important to understand each other and empathize with each other. Let me tell you, reading this book and understanding that, people in my life are at just different stages in their evolutionary process, help me empathize with them. Help me not feel insulted when they don't agree with how I live my life, or I'm not judging them based off how they live their life, or, who they voted for, or whatever. Like, you could insert any scenario. Withdraw the judgment. Judgment is what divides us. We're judging each other. We're trying to rank each other. There is no ranking system. We are all one. We are all divine beings. So what I'm trying to say is, your vibrational frequency, the farther you get, the higher you get, your vibration gets. The more you will feel it when you walk into a room of people who are not vibrating at the same frequency as you. You will feel it more heavily. And then the more you evolve spiritually, the more heavily you will feel it. Some people are able to, and some people were literally sent here to help raise consciousness and be able to, withstand that vibrational difference in a room, so they can help plant seeds, so they can emanate their life just by being an example of what it is to vibrate at a high frequency. And other people, their mission here is different. Other people who are vibrating high, their mission here is different, and that's okay if they can't handle those situations. It is okay. Don't put the pressure on yourself to try to force yourself to be a light and be around people. If you feel, listen to your body, listen to your intuition. If you feel you need to pull back, then pull back. And I've had this issue with myself. I have a hard time being in groups. I'm very, very introverted. I'm able to come out and speak on video because I'm in my own little bubble and nobody's talking to me. I don't feel everyone's vibrations. I'm just here, expressing myself. So yeah, that's the message I want to put out today. And really, really try not to judge. Judging is what divides us, and we're all one. Remember that. All right, guys? Love ya.